Look, my point of view is this. Do you know what it's like to get $1 million?
Right.
That's insane. Yeah. Like if I had that at 18, I would have been like, it would have been over. I might have the Jets and the Knicks by now. So if your kids are capable, they're not gonna need a whole lot. Plus, for a lot of kids, it fucks them up.
Sure.
I've met a lot of rich kids now because of my life the last 15 years. Man, I'm not sure who's worse. Like I actually genuinely believe if you could be born with little but have a happy house, or born with a lot and have an unhappy house, that's not even a fight. But I think it's even scarier. I think if you've got a lot and you're in a happy house and you got a little and you're in a happy house, the little and happy house person won because they've been taught from the get that money doesn't buy happiness. Whereas the rich kid might not know. They might just think, well, we're happy because we got a driver and a private plane. And so the answer is I don't know. The answer is I'm sure it will ebb and flow. The other thing I don't know is when am I going? What's happening in my life? Let me talk about things that people don't talk enough about. Let me give you a scenario while people are listening and judging. What if one of my grandchildren is special needs? You know, like I don't think we do enough of this. Like, do you know, real talk, why I don't judge anyone? Like really, like actually, I just don't know what the fuck's going on in their life. I'm watching everybody walk around the internet and society just throwing nothing but judgment. I wish we, like, you know, people are like, fuck this guy, he throws shade. Shade's easy, judgment's crazy. Telling people what they should be doing, you know nothing. You know nothing. You should post about this. Do you know that if a person posts about that, they have death threats? You should do this with your money. Okay, well, you should do this with it. Like, I don't understand. So, you know, I think for me, I don't feel, I mean, I have a will and it's split up at this point to kids and charity, but I may change it. And like, cause things will change and we'll see. But let me say one thing, charity. Most of my life, so I would say 97 cents on the dollar of everything I've done in my life has been incredibly private. Because I think that's how I was taught. Like, you know, it's funny, like, probably one of the reasons I don't flex a lot is the same reason I don't really make a lot of my charity work public. I think there's something in the way that my parents saw the world that became my framework, right? It's like, you keep quiet in some ways. I think, but I don't judge. Let me rephrase. I think there was a time a decade ago that I was a little cynical to people that were overly loud about donating. Yep. You know, my Jersey Street bullshit radar would go off. But I've come to realize, like, I don't want to be a judger either. And now, if you know, you know. I'm like, okay, they're using that as a disguise for the bad shit. That happens. But there are just other people that like get real pride in that, and more importantly, they're motivating others to do it. And so, yeah, I mean, I think
very public. I don't say amounts. I show them how they can do charity.
Yeah, and honestly, even like amounts, like, you know, I think I've started to change my point of view on that. And this is what's fun about. Let me say something real quick to the kids, which, by the way, is everyone. If a 99-year-old grandma is watching, you're a kid. You get to change your mind, right? You like that one, right? Right, because you've changed your mind on shit. I've changed my, like, you get to change your mind. And so I'm glad, I'm so happy kids have, like, by the way, maybe if I was 14 and listening to this podcast, maybe I wouldn't have had that point of view as a 20 and 30-year-old about charity, right? And maybe I did leave an opportunity to bring awareness to Charity Water and Pencils of Promise and the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation and Reform. Maybe I've left too much attention on the table by maybe having too much pride in the humility in the class that comes along with not flexing it. You know, like, so I mean this to everybody, like, give yourself the grace to change your mind. For everyone who's listening, in 2017, I just kind of like had this moment where I was like, you know what? Like, I've talked all about like, oh, invest in the next Twitter, next Facebook. One thing I do well, and one thing I recommend everybody who's listening that does content, you need to read your DMs. That's where you get the insights. That's where you know where people's real feelings are. And I was getting a lot of like, and I was starting to get bigger at the time, and I was getting a lot of like, yo bro, I fuck with you, but like, fuck you. Like, who's got 25 bands to fucking put into a startup? I got $93 in my Wells Fargo. And I got enough of that I was like, okay, bet, like, I get it. I kind of like, you know, I was like, what did I do? You know, because my dad paid me $5 an hour and I wanted money. I was like, fuck, I was doing garage sales. So I just started talking about it. And then I did the 2017 Flip Challenge. You can go Google it right now, 2017 Flip Challenge, Garyvee, and you'll find the premise, which is if you have debt, or if you have less than $10,000 in your bank account, which a lot of people do. I think people that are fortunate kind of lose touch. Then buying and selling stuff that you buy at flea markets, garage sales, thrift stores, storage lockers, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist is real money. Like, it's real. And what I like about it is a lot of people who don't know how to make money any other way really love it. Now that it's been out there for like 6 years, the amount of people who are like, yo, I've never known how to make money my whole life. I always worked at this or that. Like, everybody kind of knows something. So you go to a garage sale, like I know what toys are worth and video games just because I've studied it for so long, but vintage clothes, like records, like here's the reality. 90% of the stuff at a garage sale that is being sold for $1 or $2 is 10 bucks on eBay.
Sure.
And then you get crazy hits. So, I would go to Instagram right now or TikTok and put hashtag garage sale flip or yard sale flip. You'd be stunned. Get educated. We're not gonna get to it here. But on the make money side, especially for all the people listening who've got 87 bucks, that 87 bucks can really be 10K. And the problem is, with the way the world, all the free information's good, but on the flip side, all the kids that are listening right now that have 87 bucks, they think they need to make $1 million.
Right.
And I'm like, listen, make 10,000 before you make $1 million. And when you get to 10,000, figure out how to get 100,000. And then you can get to $1 million, and getting from 87 at you're 30 and you've never had any money to $1 million, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna chase fads, you're gonna chase bullshit, scams. And so, I'm really about that flip. I mean, I did it the other day. Right. I literally, because I still film something called Trash Talk on, I've done 10 or 11 episodes where I just go do it. And it's just there. It's there, and I'm really excited about it. I think most people should be able to make $500 in profit. Yep. And like, look, if you're listening right now, and here's the other thing, it's fun for certain people.
The game is fun.
Especially if you have a partner. Like, it's a great father-daughter, father-son. Me and AJ are real tight. We're 11 years apart. I think both of us would say, besides Jets football, that garage selling, and maybe even garage selling more, because during Jets football, we're just being maniacs and focusing. But when you wake up at 6:30 and you go to Burger King and get a coffee, and then you drive 25 minutes to the town-wide sale. By the way, if you want to really crush garage sales, Google town-wide garage sale, because you don't want to spend all morning going to 4. A lot of towns around the country will do a town-wide garage sale, and you can hit 100 in 4 hours. Wow. So that's a little hack. Anyway, but you have to drive 40 minutes to get to the town that's doing it. So, for me and AJ, when he was 13, 14, 15, 16, and I was 24, 25, 26, those were real moments when we were driving from 7 to 8 a.m. where he's talking about liking girls and school and life, and I'm talking about building dad's business, and it really bonded us. And so for a lot of people, I've gotten emails of them and their best friend became closer because you're grinding. And what's funny is, for a lot of people that don't have money, this, they also are commonly, very cliche, the person that wakes up at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. Right. Now they're waking up at 6:30. Yep. They're getting that discipline. They're getting home by 11, 12. It's kind of the same. They realize they didn't even, sometimes they're like, I don't want to fuck up my bowling or my golf or hanging out with boys or the college football. I'm like, be home by it. And it gets them going and it changes it. And so, yeah, I like Flip Life. I like it a lot because I also, once you get the first hook, one guy, because I'm so into it still, if someone's like, yo, Garyvee, you really put me on, Flip Life, changed my life. I'm always like, yo, what was your first big one? I'm like, what was your first big one? They're like, you'll never believe it. I bought fucking 40 bucks for 1,000 fucking CDs and sold them all for, some were rare, and this Pink Floyd one was 80 bucks. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was hooked. And that's I'm still about that life.
That's so fun.